Welcome to Yoga with Roseanne. Today's class is for those of you experiencing low back pain and low back tension, quite common in our day and age. So things that are nice to have, but you don't necessarily need, are a strap. I have a TheraBand. It could be a scarf, whatever you have, so that we can lengthen the hamstrings while keeping ease in the shoulders. Also nice to have a blanket outstretched on your mat to soften the ground beneath you, beneath your spine, so we can cultivate gentleness here today. Also, a pillow is quite nice for later in the practice. So come on to your back, and it might mean if you're experiencing low back pain, you want to come down onto your side first, and then roll onto the back, whatever causes the least discomfort for you. Knees bent. Explore the angle of the legs, how far you would like the feet out or in toward the body. As you lengthen the spine nice and long, you might even adjust a little bit here away, adjust the upper body away from the pelvis. See if you can feel the sense of length through the sides of the waist. And take some breath here. If it's comfortable for you, those hands can come to the belly and breathe into the belly and low back. Allow the softness of the breath to release tension, to attend to the sensations without thought. And notice if that shifts the experience in the low back at all. Breath is such a powerful tool to ease tension in general in the body, especially when it's neurological from our busy day-to-day lives. Perhaps inhale and pause with the breath in if it's safe for you with your blood pressure. And exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Breathe into the low back. And exhale, ha. One more time, wide inhale. And exhale, make a little sound. And tune in again and notice if that shifted anything for you. We'll just test the waters here. Take the hands around the back of the right thigh and just draw it in a little and just see how that feels. Not very far. And try the opposite leg. Support it as much as you need. And if that felt comfortable, perhaps you're ready to take the backs of both legs. Instead of drawing them in really tight, keep them nice and soft. And again, focus on breathing into the low back and belly. And then with the hands perhaps behind the thighs, you could rock. Hands could also be on the knees. Maybe pause over to one side. Inhale. Exhale to return to center. Inhale to other side. And exhale back to center. Continue this, and I'd like you to feel when you inhale over to one side, that you're rolling across the back of the pelvis. And exhale back to center. Again, over to the opposite side. And back. Just do a few more like this. Small, small movement. And as you do this, see if you can keep the knees level, because that indicates whether or not the pelvis is shifting. Each time you exhale back to center, you might notice the transverse abdominis. It's like one of your abdominal muscles kind of goes across this way. Turn on. That muscle really, all the ab muscles, but that muscle helps to stabilize your center and helps protect the low back. So I just want you to get in tune with it a little bit here with that exhale, maybe a little more active. Do one more each way. And a final time. Nice. If you're ready for it, you could deepen the stretch a tiny bit and draw the knees in a little further. And then plant that left leg down. You might just stay right here or lengthen that right leg. I like to flex the foot and lower back down. Lengthen and bend. So mobility work here. If your hamstrings are tight, that could be responsible for the low back tension or pain. And then pause. And as an option, you might take the strap, whatever you've got, around the forefoot of that right foot. And then allow the backs of the arms to return to the earth as you stretch the back of the leg. We'll pause here. If you need less, that leg moves away from the body. If you need a little more, it might draw in. And while you're here, I'd like you to notice if the chin is jetting or if you can slightly draw it down back to neutral. So there's length through the back of the skull. Connection between neck and low back. And repetitive overarching that we often do in the low back. Sometimes that's reflected in neck and rib flaring. So as you lengthen the back of the skull, you might feel a change through the rest of the spine. Subtle, but there. One more inhale. And exhale to take the strap into the right hand. Glue down that right upper arm. And perhaps you open that leg just slightly to the side, might be smaller than normal. It's for a little stretch of the inner thighs without our usual cobbler, which can put stress on the SI joint and can, feed into a discomfort in low back and sacrum area. And pain radiates, so sometimes it can be a slightly different area than we think. So we don't want a huge opening here. And the leg comes back. Take the strap, whatever you have, in the other hand and bring the leg over a little. You might choose to keep this other leg bent, even though you feel like, oh, it's getting in the way. That's okay. Keep it bent and leg comes over a little. If the low back does feel good, you could lengthen up that leg, but that's a lot if you're experiencing back pain. But good to know your options. And this is enough to bring it over this far. I T-band here, stretching some other areas of the hip and leg, glutes to help find that ease in low back. Bring it back to center. Release the strap. Support the leg as however you need. And then re-bend it and plant the foot down. And take time to notice in between sides, the right side of the pelvis and the left side, and the right side of the low back and the left side. And just sense into the low back. How does it feel compared to when we started? And take the strap. Oh, not yet. Take that left leg in just slightly. Bend the knee, extend and bend. Reach the foot to your foot to the sky and draw it back in. See if you can keep the head still. Two more. Last one, reach that leg up and take the band around the sole of the foot. Might rebend the leg to do this. And ground upper arms. And explore how much you'd like to draw in that leg. Move it away and toward. Till you're ready to settle in. Found a point where you're practicing nonviolence toward yourself. Getting a little bit of a stretch with this sense of gentleness. If you notice the breath is staggered at all, back out a little bit. One more inhale here. And exhale, take the strap in the left hand and that smaller opening. So the SI joint is happy. Inhale. And then exhale, switch hands with the strap and bring the leg over just slightly. And feel into that glute and outer leg. Notice how this affects the low back, if it does or doesn't, because I can give you insight into where there's tension and where you might want to open. And not in this session, but often we need to strengthen that area or surrounding areas as well, long term, to prevent the back pain. Come back to center, release, strap, rebend knee, and plant the foot. And again, pause. Feel into that left hip and the right hip and the left half of the low back and the right half and the whole of the low back. Is there a difference in the space between your low back and the mat now from when you began? Take the right leg up and cross it over the left one. Open up the knee. This could be enough. Or figure four, clasp hands around bottom thigh, draw it in. Flex top foot to protect the knee. This could also be done with the strap. Around that leg, around the sole of the foot is another option. I'll just show you that. Here. Stretching this area to see if the glutes are responsible for the low back pain, tightness in this area. A few more breaths. And then lower that left foot down. Both feet replant. Slight little pause. And other side, left leg crosses. Perhaps weave hands or strap around back of thigh or around forefoot. Remaining on the back, the first part of our practice, supported by the earth, letting the spine have a rest. Around 2 more breaths. And replant that right foot on the earth. And the left one will join it. Again, a little pause. Supine rotation next. Lengthen that left leg and take that left hand over and across the body. And maybe you just draw the left leg over a little, or the right leg over a little. This could be enough. Or maybe you continue to roll a little further to the left. Also support the leg with the left hand. Not going to your maximal depth. Instead, just feeling the subtleties of the stretch without overdoing it. And return to the spine. Other side, right leg lengthens, left one comes in. And draw it over perhaps just slightly. More inhale here. And exhale to return to your spine, both feet planted, so you can roll onto one side. Inhale here. And use the exhale and the top hand to help you come up to support your back. And then come onto your hands and knees. The knees can stay on the blanket. Perhaps you fold the blanket a little bit more so that it's not under the hands. If able, take that or assist with the hand, that right leg forward. Take hands to that top thigh to help yourself come up. And attention needs to be paid here to a long neutral spine rather than an arch. We don't want to see this. I'm going to exaggerate. The ribs glide toward the pelvis. You might stay nice and high. Adjust your feet as you need here. Getting into the hip flexor. This is often responsible for low back pain. You could stay still or a slight in and out of this low crescent. If you find a place where it feels good, stay. Minding neutral curves of the spine. Breathe wide into the sides of the ribs. One more inhale here. And exhale. Hands can come to the inside of the lead leg. Just for a little breath, a little pause. And then hands frame your front foot so you can lengthen that leg. And help it with that right hand to come in. And bring your shins onto your blanket. And see if you can sit back into a child's pose. It's a small one here. And come right back up again. And assist that left leg to come forward. Adjust the legs as you need. Help yourself with the hands to press up. Very gentle class today. It's important to take our time, allow the healing to take place. Here you might explore gentle movement or stillness. Hips face forward. Spine tall. Active press through action. Noticing the small things, the subtle things. A little longer here. Inhale. And exhale, hands come to the inseam of the lead leg for about 3 breaths or so. Another inhale. And exhale to lengthen lead leg. Frame it with the hands. And then assist with the left hand to come to bring the leg back. And here, can move that blanket out of the way. So you can find a child's pose, either wide or narrow, whatever feels best in the low back. And you might take that blanket or a pillow onto your thighs to come over on. You might even have pillow underneath the head, so it needs to be higher, to support the head as the arms slide back, fingertips toward the end or end of your mat. So lots of variations for this. So legs could be wider. I'll model a few more things. I like that one. Legs could be wider. Hands could be outstretched in front. Or the hands can weave between the legs. And again, that blanket could still be used underneath the head. So choose your position. I like the blanket on the lap because of the space and comfort it provides between chest and thighs. Breaths into the low back. And today, this is where I leave you. If you liked this video, once you're finished with your child's pose, feel free to explore the meditations to follow. Take care, and we'll see you next time.